This is another weirder story I came across on YouTube, which involves so many coincidences or fate, and the curiosity of people and technology, which helped to solve a 22-year-old mystery. Jerry Nyman, who works for the transportation department at Palm Beach County School District. His day to day included creating and monitoring bus routes and getting updates on buses within the school district. So he often uses an in house developed routing system where they can see real time updates on where the bus stops and where the buses are. This system uses Google Maps as a base layer. Since Jerry works for the school district, he will usually go and see through the Google Map or Street View to find the best and safe route for children to find their way to the bus stops. On 2019 August 28th, he received an email from the principal at Polar Park Middle School regarding new safety measures for their school bus routes. When Jerry saw the email from Polar Park Middle School, he realized he had heard the school name before. Coincidentally, that was the school his ex-girlfriend's two daughters used to attend. His ex-girlfriend lived in Grand Isles Sausalito Housing Development in Wellington, Florida. For some reason or fate, curiosity took over him and he looked on Google Maps to see where Polar Park Middle School was. And again, coincidentally, he noticed that it was very close to Erica's house. Erica is his ex-girlfriend. Then Jerry kind of pretends to walk from Polar Park Middle School to Erica's house. While he's doing that, he notices something shining on Google Map in the lake right next to Erica's house. This lake is a man-made lake and the object looked a bit like a car. First he thought it was nothing and he tried to compare it to the cars that were parked nearby. Convinced that it was a car, he texted his ex-girlfriend Erica and asked, "Are you hiding cars in your backyard?" It was just meant to be a fun text. Then Erica replied back, "What are you talking about?" Then Jerry explained to Erica about what he saw in the Google Map and sent a screenshot of the object, which looks like a car, right behind her house and asked her to check it out. Erica immediately walked to her backyard and tried to see if there was a car in the pond. But the water was kind of murky and she couldn't see anything clearly. When she couldn't see anything, instead of giving up, she went and asked one of her neighbors if they could see any car lying around in the pond and showed them the screenshot which Jerry had sent to her. The neighbor called his police friend and sent him the screenshots. He then checked the pond with Google Maps and he got convinced it was a car. Immediately, they sent out some divers to check it out. Divers came and confirmed it was a car, and then they pulled out the car out of the murky pond. It was an old 1994 Saturn SL. To all of their surprise, there was a skeletal remain of a person inside the car. The police immediately started investigating the skeleton and the car. Year is 1997. William Earl Moldt was a 40-year-old mortgage broker from Florida. After a long week of work on the November 7th, 1997, Moldt has gone to a nightclub to enjoy the Friday night before the weekend. Moldt had a couple of drinks. He called his then girlfriend at about 9:30 p.m. and confirmed that he would be home soon. Moldt then left the nightclub around 11 p.m. in his 1994 Saturn SL. According to witnesses, he did not appear to be too drunk or anything. He was a quiet guy, not a frequent drinker, but he did visit the bar time to time. His girlfriend waited and waited for Moldt to arrive, but he did not come home that night. She then filed a police report. Police tried to find Moldt but were unable to find any trace of him after he left the bar on the 7th of November 1997. With no leads or clues to investigate, his case went cold. He remained missing for the next 2 decades until 28 August 2019. 1 week later, a report from the medical examiner's office. The remains were positively identified as belonging to Moldt. At the time in 1997, they just started building the whole community that Erica lives in, so it would have been a complete construction zone. Police tried to go as far as they could in Google Maps and found out that the car has been there since 2007. Earliest available image from the Google map. You should be wondering why nobody saw the car for so long, which was so clear in the Google map. But when you actually stand next to this man-made lake, the water is always muddy and green. It is almost impossible to see. Police believe that William, while returning from the nightclub on his way home, lost control of his vehicle and drove into the man-made pond. This happened probably at midnight, so no one would have been on the construction site. So the car went undiscovered through rest of the construction. After the construction, residents moved in and carried on with their life for 22 years, until one curious guy found an object which piqued his interest. Coincident or fate, his ex-girlfriend lived right next to the accident scene. 22 years later, the William Earl Moldt family got their closure. Alright guys, that's all for today. If you guys like this video and want to see more similar videos like this, subscribe to our channel and check on all notifications so you will not miss any of our latest videos. If you guys come across any videos or channels worth sharing, share it with us and we'll share it to the world. Be sure to check out our contact details in the video description below. See you guys in our next video.